groove and feel have as much to do with articulation as they do with rhythm. So this is a really, really important one, and should be a fun one too. So what we're talking about today is simply playing a short note followed by a long note. As simple as that sounds, guys, this is in thousands of bass lines, so many bass lines that you will hear, and getting this down and getting the mechanics of it down is going to be so important for so many of you, because I guarantee you most of you might have to work on part of the mechanics here to make it sound really clean. And one really quick thing, this is the precursor for sure to ghost notes. If you want to get good at ghost notes, this is where you start. Okay, cool. So as usual, grab your bass. You can play along with a bunch of this, but the timestamps are in the description. Feel free to skip around, but definitely stay for the last section of this video, because that segment is going to go over something that absolutely takes things to the next level, and it should 100% be part of your playing. And also, as usual, before we get into it, I teach private lessons online. My email's in the description. Hit me up. Let me know you're interested. Let's get together for a free consultation. But without further ado, grab your axe. Let's get into it. There are a couple things involved in the technique here, and they're all really, really equally important. The first thing I want to just check on, okay, I want to check on your plucking technique. All right, take a look at your plucking and make sure first that if you're plucking a string with your right hand, let's say we're plucking the A string, and I am plucking a C on the A string, 3rd fret on the A string, I want you to make sure that when you pull the string and pluck it, that your finger follows through to the string above it. So I'm following through with my finger until I hit the E string with both fingers. Okay, that goes a long way in helping you mute the strings, and that goes for every string, except for the E string, of course. Okay, great. Once you feel like you have that down pat, because you got to address that first. The first important thing about this is knowing how to stop the string. There's 2 pieces of mechanics involved in that, and they're both really important. I'm going to go back to a C on the A string here, right? And being able to stop the string, it's harder than it sounds. Okay, the first thing you got to do is stop the string with your right hand, with your plucking fingers, okay? Okay, that's the first thing. Now, generally speaking, there is a mistake that people make with this, and here's the mistake. I want you to make sure that your fingers remain relaxed and rounded when you stop the string. A lot of people straighten out their fingers when they stop the string, kind of like this. If you're one of those people, work on rounding your fingers. I like to call it a snake bite, okay? Because if I were pretending to snake bite something, right? My hand wouldn't go like this, right? It would go like this. That's kind of the shape of your hand that you want to keep. You want to keep that kind of snake bite shape. Right? And I'll do it with both fingers here, okay? Good way to practice it. Pluck the string and tap it. Keep the fingers rounded and tap it. Okay? Then get rid of the noise until it's silent. Okay? Now, okay, great. That's the first part. The second part I want you to work on is lifting the string with your fretting finger. When I stop a note, 90% of the time, unless I'm plucking really fast, 90% of the time, I'm not only stopping the string with my right hand, but I'm lifting the string with my left hand. I'm lifting my my fretting finger off the string just enough to stop the sound. Okay, and when I coordinate that with my right hand, it gets a super, super clean sound. So going back to that C on the A string, when I stop the string with the right hand and lift with the left hand, it's a super, super clean sound, okay? Now, getting the articulation we're looking for with a short note and a long note after it, we're going to have to be able to do that short sound really quickly. So here's how we're going to practice it. First, we're going to make a drum beat out of this. All right, going to pluck this C and and gonna tap on the beat. So pluck, tap. And when you tap, the instant you tap, you lift that left finger just barely off the string. Still keeping it in contact with the string, but barely lifting it off and getting a nice clean tap. So it's kind of like a boom, chick, boom, chick, boom, chick. Try that with all your fingers. Go up one fret with your middle finger. Do that same thing. Keep it in rhythm, right? Like a drum beat. Boom, chick. Go in the third finger, chick. Boom, chick. Boom, chick. This is third finger on a D. Now going fourth finger on the E flat. Okay, now, after you got the boom, chick, go ahead and take the sound out of the tap with all four fingers. Okay, try that with each one. Okay, there's still going to be a little bit of noise, but you're not going to hear that in a track. But it's going to be much cleaner. Practice it with both plucking fingers. Right? Practice as long as you need to get that clean sound and to coordinate your fingers. You don't want your left hand finger lifting before you touch the string or touch the string before you lift. You want them to be perfectly coordinated together. That detail, man, I'm telling you, it's so, so important. So practice coordinating those fingers. And then when you feel good about that, with the boom, chick, with the long note, now we're going to cut it a little shorter until you feel comfortable. So little shorter with that clean sound. All right, each finger. And as you practice it with each finger and you get comfortable, see if you can get it shorter and shorter and shorter until you get it this fast. But make sure it's perfectly coordinated. Both fingers coordinated, touching the string and lifting the string at the same time. Left hand lifts, right hand touches. Keep the fingers rounded. See how short you can get it. Okay? So that's the first part of this. The short note is the most important part. The long note's easy, but coordinating it with the short note is going to be difficult. So here's the next step. Step 2. It's going to be to now add the long note after it. Okay? So here's what we're looking for. We're going to play the short note. All right, one fret. I'm back on the third fret of the A string with a C, my first finger on my left hand, right? We're going to play the short note, stop the string, and then play a long note. Doesn't matter how fast you do it, just get the coordination down. All four fingers. Move up one note at a time if you can. Short, long. Now we're getting it in rhythm, okay? Let's go back to just the third fret. Oops. There we go. Short, long, short, long. Okay, once you feel comfortable with that speed, now we're going to do it in eighth notes, okay? At the speed of 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and short, long, short, long. Go slower if you need to. Okay, but here it is in eighth notes. Again, getting that. Now, instead of focusing so much on the mechanics, just focus on the sound now. Okay, your fingers know what to do. Let them do what they do. Focus on the sound. Slow down if you need to. Go this slow if you need to. Slower. Right? Whatever speed you need to go at, that's where you start. Okay? All right. That's the short, long articulation. Let's go ahead and move on to a bass line. Okay, so what's going to happen is the short note is going to anticipate the long note. The long note's on the downbeat, and the short note leads into it. It anticipates it. Watch. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1. Like that, okay? Now the backing track we're going to play is using both a C and an F. Okay, so we're going to do that both notes. Try it on both notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3 to the F. 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so try that a few times. Again, get the mechanics down. Feel good about the mechanics. And then we're going to do that on both 1 and 3. So, and 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, 2, and 3. Here we go. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, 2, and 3. F, and 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1. Keep working on that. Isn't that is so much of a better feel than, right? You can feel the groove just in the bass line. Okay, here we go. Let's get the backing track up. Here we go. Ready? 2 and 3, 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. Short, long to the F. And 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and back to the C. And 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and. All right, I'm gonna take the counting away now. See if you can feel it. Count in your head if you need to. Anticipation note can also be, it can be either the C or the F. You can anticipate the C with the F and the F with the C. Check it out, watch. Right? Anticipate the C with the F. Hear the difference? Okay. So either way, whatever sounds better to you. More time through. 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Okay? All right, if you've worked through this far, excellent work so far. Let's talk about the second type of rhythm that you would use with this. And this is what I would call, or what could be called, a pushed rhythm. All right, a pushed rhythm is when you play your short note now on the downbeat, okay? So the short note goes on beat 1, and then the long note pushes off of that on the offbeat, okay? So it's going to sound like this, ready? On the C. This is again on the C. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2. Aim the short note on the downbeat. 1 and 2. Let's go to the F real quick. And 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. This one sounds equally as good, feels equally as good. Let's try it with the backing track. 1, 2, 1, 2. Push off the downbeat. Short, long, and 3 and 4 and short, long, 2 and 3. Now on the F. Now let's put it on beat 1 and 3, okay? When you're ready, you can keep going with the long notes if you need to work the mechanics. But here it is on beat 1 and 3. And 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, 3 and 4 Sorry about the ghost note there. Habit. Now you can add some notes, go up the scale if you want. To add some notes, add some movement to the bass line. I can talk and play at the same time. Okay, let's do that. I'm adding a D here. To the D, then to the F. experiment with different notes with this articulation. Okay? Now, real quick, let's add a long note before. We're still going to do the pushed rhythm, but let's add an eighth note, a nice long note before it. So it's going to go ba bum ba ba bum ba. So we're going to anticipate the short note, but it's just going to fill out the bass line a little more. This is what it's going to sound like. 2, 3, 4, and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2, like that. Okay, let's try it. 2, 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 1, and 2, and 1. So we're sandwiching that short note now. Sit on this groove for a while. All right, if you're playing along, let's sit on this for a little bit. If you feel good about it, you want to skip ahead, go ahead. Let's add some movement to the bass line. I'm going to use a D after the C and a G after the F. To the D, F, lead into the G, to the D, to the G in a second. All right, now you can get creative with this. Go ahead and try a few different note changes, but keep the same rhythm. Try root fifth octave here too. Ready? Okay, I'm gonna go back to the root after the fifth and then to the octave. The possibilities are endless here, right? Just as long as you're experimenting with that short-long combination, there's so much stuff you can do. There's a lot of bass lines out there that just keep the short-long thing going in eighth notes like this. But it's the same, the technique stays the same. You got to coordinate your left and right hand. If that's not happening for you yet, go back to the beginning, work on that coordination, work on the mechanics, and then put it in your bass lines. This is great for practicing scales. All right, in any way, in any combination, in any rhythm. Practice this articulation. Like I've said over and over again here in this video, but I'm just going to reiterate, the mechanics are everything. Getting the mechanics clean is going to make your groove clean. An audience can tell. Man, that's the craziest thing. When people listen to you, they hear your sound, your time, right? Your rhythm, how tight are your rhythms? And then the thing that separates okay players from good players is the articulation. Starting to control and really express with different articulations, that's what makes bass players sound good. Some good bands that use this short, long articulation a lot of Tom Petty songs, Fleetwood Mac stuff, a lot of singer-songwriter and roots kind of music. Alabama Shakes, Marcus King. Go listen to some of that stuff and just check out how articulate the bass players are. It's really subtle, but super, super detailed. Super cool. All right, let's go to the last stage. This is the thing. I'm excited about this. And I'm going to talk about it because this is something that I've harped on a lot indirectly on this channel. But what we're going to practice now is not just the short-long articulation, but now leaving room for the snare drum. Okay, so the bass line we had before, there's very little space, right? The only space I've got in my notes are in the short notes. That little tiny bit of space between the short and long note. Now, we're going to go back to that boom chick exercise that we were doing at the beginning. Pluck, pluck, tap. And when you tap, of course, coordinating the two hands like we've talked about. Now, when I take the tap away, or take the sound away, I should say, the sound of the tap, I get this really, really clean cutoff, right? Well, I am cutting off right where the snare enters. So now we're leaving room for the snare, and check out the difference in the feel. I'm just going to do it on whole notes here, but check out the space for the snare. Okay, that's the start. Now, when I coordinate that with my short long, you can now feel the groove. You can probably hear the drums in your head just because of this bass line, just because I'm leaving that precise space for the snare drum, okay? Boom, chick, boom, 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 boom. Okay, do that really slow and work out the coordination. Again, get the mechanics. Again, the tap, the stop of the string where I'm tapping is exactly where the snare is hitting. It is exactly that rhythm, okay? That's so key. You can't stop it early. It's not going to feel as good. You got to keep the note going and tap with the snare, exactly with the snare. Okay, now, once you get the mechanics down, take the sound of the tap away. And just be gentle on the string. Okay, check it out with the backing track. I love this. Feels good. That feels really good. I'm going to sit on this for a little bit. You guys can sit on it as well if you're playing along. Here we go. Again, practice precision. You stop the string right on the snare. Right? In any combination, you can do the anticipation rhythm. You can work in the push rhythm. Check it out. 2, 2, and 3. Once you start mastering these combinations and not really thinking about them, again, really, just try to feel it, okay? Just try to feel your way through it. If you need to stop and work the mechanics, say it again. Stop and work the mechanics. right, everybody, I hope you got something out of that one. I hope you enjoyed it. And like I alluded to earlier in the video, next week we're going to tackle ghost notes. So if you're feeling good about this and these exercises in this video, you're going to feel good about ghost notes next week. So looking forward to that one. See you guys in a week. Take it easy.